Hello, my friend. Life is not always easy. Sometimes even the people we love hurt us. Words are spoken, mistakes are made, and hearts are broken. But in life, there is also a door that can bring peace again. That door is forgiveness. Today, I will tell you a story. It is not short. It is long, like the path of the heart. It is a story about two brothers, David and Samuel, who lived many years with anger between them. This story will show us the pain of division, the courage of reconciliation, and the peace that forgiveness can bring. So, sit with me. Listen carefully. Maybe you will see a part of yourself in this story. The beginning of conflict. David and Samuel were brothers. They grew up in a small village surrounded by green hills and a calm river. As children, they played together every day. They built little boats with wood. They climbed trees. They laughed until the sun went down. But as they grew older, life became more serious. David worked hard in the fields, planting wheat and corn. Samuel chose a different path. He became a merchant, buying and selling goods in the nearby town. One day, a disagreement came between them. It started small. Samuel borrowed money from David, promising to return it after selling his goods. But the trade did not go well. Samuel lost much money and could not pay. David felt betrayed. "You gave me your word, Samuel," he said with anger. Samuel replied, "I tried, but life is hard. Why can you not understand?" The words grew sharper. Accusations were spoken. Respect was broken. And like a small crack in a wall, their relationship began to collapse. That night, David sat alone outside his house. He looked at the stars, but he felt no peace. Samuel, too, lay awake in his bed, but sleep did not come. Both brothers felt pain, but pride was stronger than love. From that day, they stopped talking. The wall between them. Years passed. The two brothers lived in the same village, but acted like strangers. David continued working in the fields. He became known as a man of discipline and strength. His farm grew, and people respected him. Samuel traveled often for trade. He brought strange items from the city, cloths of bright colors, jars of spices, small treasures that amazed the villagers. He became known as clever, always with stories to tell. But behind these faces of success, there was a hidden emptiness. Whenever David passed Samuel in the street, he turned his face away. Whenever Samuel heard David's footsteps, he walked faster. At family gatherings, they sat far apart. Their mother cried many nights, begging them to forgive each other. But her words fell like rain on hard stone. One day, David built a fence along his land, higher than needed. He told his neighbors, "It is to protect my crops." But in truth, it was to keep Samuel away. Samuel saw the fence and felt a deep wound in his heart. "He wants to erase me," he whispered to himself. So, he stopped visiting that side of the village. The wall between them was not only wood and nails. It was anger, pride, and silence. And it grew stronger every year. The weight of silence. 10 years passed. Their mother grew old and weak. On her last day, she called both of them to her bed. With a fragile voice, she said, "My sons, I gave you both life. But I cannot leave this world in peace while you live as enemies. Please forgive each other." Tears filled her eyes. She held their hands together for a moment, but David quickly pulled away. Samuel lowered his head in shame. That night, their mother passed away, and instead of coming closer, the brothers drifted even further apart. David buried his pain in work. He became harder, less open. Samuel drowned his sorrow in travel, avoiding the village as much as he could. But no matter how much they tried to escape, the silence was heavy. At night, David sometimes dreamed of the days when he and Samuel were boys, laughing by the river. He would wake with a tear on his face. Samuel, too, carried the weight. Whenever he saw two brothers walking together in the city, he felt a sharp pain in his chest. He tried to ignore it, but it never left. A chance for change. One spring, a great flood came to the village. The river, usually calm, rose high with rain. Fields were destroyed, homes were damaged, and many families suffered. David's land was hit badly. His crops were washed away, and he feared losing everything. Samuel, returning from the city, saw the destruction. For a moment, his heart told him, "Go to David. Help him." But pride whispered, "Why should you? He never forgave you. He built a fence to push you away." Still, Samuel walked toward his brother's farm. He saw David working alone, trying to save what little remained. His clothes were wet, his hands were bleeding, but his face was hard as stone. Samuel took a deep breath. "David," he called softly. David looked up. For a moment, silence fell heavy between them. Then David said coldly, "Why are you here?" Samuel hesitated. His pride wanted to leave, but his heart spoke louder. "Because you cannot fight this alone. Let me help." David's jaw tightened. His eyes were sharp. But deep inside, a small voice asked, "Is this the moment? Can you open the door?" Finally, David lowered his tools. He did not smile, but he did not refuse.
"Fine," he said.
"Work with me." That day, for the first time in 10 years, the brothers worked side by side. They did not speak much, but in the silence, something began to change. The hard road to forgiveness. In the following weeks, Samuel came often. He helped repair fences, plant seeds, and rebuild the farm. Slowly, the anger began to melt. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, David and Samuel sat on the ground, tired from the day's work. The air was cool, and the sky was painted with orange light. Samuel finally spoke. His voice was low, almost a whisper. "David, I am sorry. I failed you. I broke my promise many years ago, and I carried this shame every day. I know I hurt you. Can you forgive me?" David did not answer at once. His hands rested on his knees, his eyes on the horizon. He remembered their childhood, their laughter, their mother's last words. He also remembered his years of silence, his pride, his coldness. At last, he turned to Samuel. His voice was rough but sincere. "I was angry, yes. but I also let pride rule me. I punished you with silence, and I punish myself too. I don't want to carry this weight anymore." David placed his hand on Samuel's shoulder. "Yes, Samuel, I forgive you." Tears filled Samuel's eyes. For the first time in many years, he felt free. And David, too, felt a chain break inside his heart. A new peace. From that day, the brothers walked together again. They rebuilt not only the farm, but also their bond. The fence that once divided their land was taken down. In its place, they built a small wooden bridge over the stream, a symbol of their reconciliation. The village noticed the change. People saw the two brothers laughing, talking, and working together, and many hearts were touched. One evening, sitting by the bridge, David said, "Forgiveness is not easy. It took me many years to find the courage, but I see now it is the only way to live in peace." Samuel nodded.
Yes.
Forgiveness does not change the past, but it changes the future, and it gives rest to the soul. They watched the river flow under the bridge, carrying away leaves and branches. It was as if the water carried away their old pain too. And in that quiet moment, they understood. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength. It is not forgetting. It is healing. It is choosing peace over pride. The story of David and Samuel shows us that time alone does not heal wounds. Silence does not bring peace. Only forgiveness can open the heart and remove the heavy weight of anger. Forgiveness is not simple. It takes courage. But when it comes, it is like a bridge that reconnects what was broken. And across that bridge, we can walk together again.